Was it Maddie?
No, Maddie was really nice.
Was it Kendall? The one and only Shawn Mendes. He sort of kind of came out a little bit on
The
stage.
closet was glass.
Bryce Hall was like the biggest one that was from that time period.
Did you talk with him and interact with him?
Yeah, he was actually my first kiss.
Oh.
Okay, well,
Now
girl, now you're spilling the tea.
Now we're getting the good stuff.
There's always time for gossip.
I don't know her.
I still don't know her.
Yeah, double homicide.
Beyonce? Well, yes.
Don't do it.
I would ask you to respect our privacy, but please, I don't respect people's privacy. That's why I do the hot topics.
Welcome to the Gossip Spot, hosted by Trey, Godsey, and Danny Osborne. Looks like you just found the G-Spot.
The gossip spot, that is.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast where we discuss all things pop culture. Any tea you have, we will clock it.
Well, yes.
Today we are joined by a very special guest. She is a multi-talented singer, songwriter, and dancer, which is why she's so important for her to be here in this episode. She is Maya Jones. Hello, Maya. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Awesome. So excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you're only talking to me like Danny's just...
I know, I'm not here. It's just you two today.
So, Maya, do you want to tell people why we brought you in for this episode?
Yeah, so for this episode, they're talking about dance moms, and I actually grew up on that competition team because I'm from Pittsburgh. Most people don't know that, but yeah.
Because you live in Nashville now and you make music, and people think of Nashville and country, but you're from Pittsburgh. You're a Pittsburgh girl.
I am.
Do you like the Steelers?
I don't really like sports, but I just say Steelers naturally, so.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite sport is the Abbey Lee Dance Company.
Yeah. That's
Literally anything they do.
Yeah.
Anything.
It's iconic no matter what it is. Let's be so for real.
Literally.
So before we jump into Dance Moms, we're going to do some hot topics. So we only have a few today. We're going to do a shorter hot topic segment just because we have a guest here and we want to really get into the meat and bones and potatoes, whatever we're talking about. So
We're going to make
let's
it
start
like
out with our hot topics.
Yeah, let's make it a rapid hot topics today. So this is kind of like the big hot piping tea that we have to talk about. So Azealia Banks versus Lil Nas X. So Azealia Banks tweeted, Lil Nas X really fell off so hard. LMFAO, that little, I can't say half this stuff. She was the T.
We have to live censor it.
Bitch has no bars. Ha 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 ha. Well then, Lil Nas X then replied.
Because he ain't no punk bitch.
Yeah. He said, Azealia, I could never make a hit song again, and you would still never in your bussy soap selling chicken. Yeah. Soap selling, chicken sacrificing, botched body, hating, bleep, miserable life reach a 10th of my success. Love your music, by the way.
So Twitter was in a rave, and people were saying that Lil Nas cleared her, and I agree. Like, Azealia has just really been on one recently. Like, you know, she's known for coming for people, but like, she's just really been on one recently about everyone.
Is she going through like menopause?
I don't think she's that old.
I don't know how old Azealia is, but
like, I love her music as well. But like, I feel like she finally kind of met her match.
Yeah, and she gets into it with everyone.
And Lil Nas calling out her like soap making business is so funny to me because she gets called out for like not shipping all of her stuff. They're like, I ordered this 2 years ago and you never shipped it. So I was like, I'm not gonna risk my money.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I wouldn't either though. Like Azealia, sell it in Walmart.
I fear he cleared though. And
that was a good reply.
If we're being honest, he's right. He could live the rest of his life, never make another song, and she still would never reach his success.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's had multiple hits. So
number one hits.
Yeah, and Azealia.
She had 212.
Yeah.
I was in the 212.
Featured on Pitch Perfect. Yeah. So our next hot topic is very good. Scary Movie.
Okay, so I feel like I need to talk right away.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is Trey's favorite like movie franchise.
I love Scary Movie 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 3 and 4 are not as good as 1 and 2, but the 5th one I don't talk about. That's like a letdown. But I'm so excited to bring it back with the Wayans brothers, who are the original like people who made the movie. And I'm interested to see if we'll have that early 2000s, 90s sense of comedy, or if they're gonna like be walking on eggshells trying not to get canceled. Because I feel like that's what makes movies that they've done, like Scary Movie and White Chicks and all that. That's what makes it so funny, is because they weren't afraid to get canceled. They went there with the jokes. Like, that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
But there's so many scary movie like memes and stuff on Stan's where I love it. Brenda's my favorite character. This is another point. If they don't bring back the original cast, I don't want it. Like if Brenda's not there, if Cindy's not there, I will not be seated. I will actually stand up and run away.
It's just like, why would we even want to watch?
It would have just been you if you would have just shut the up.
So, yeah. Will you be seated for Scary Movie 6?
These is Dixie cups.
So our next hot topic, you guys, the one and only Shawn Mendes. He sort of kind of came out a little bit. Kind of. He was on
The
stage.
closet was glass.
Yeah, it's been a glass closet, but you know, he had a concert the other night and he took the stage and he said, the real truth about my life and sexuality is that I'm just figuring it out like everyone. I don't really know sometimes, and I know other times it feels like really scary because we live in a society that has a lot to say about that.
And I sure do.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Like late 20s, probably like 27, 28.
You
Really?
could have figured this stuff out 10 years ago.
Yeah. But I did see though, he also said that like whenever he was 15 years old, he was already famous and stuff. And it was kind of like he was catapulted in fame. And so like he didn't live like the normal life of a 15-year-old that like normal people did, because he was already big and famous, doing interviews, going on tour, everything like that. So, I mean, I can see that like he's been really busy. It's harder for him to kind of figure out this kind of stuff. But that's just my thoughts on it, though.
I feel like a straight man is not scared of his sexuality. To
Yeah.
sit there and be like, I'm scared of like, but come on. Like, I understand you have like the world's eyes on you, but like, girl, we already knew.
Yeah.
The closet was made of glass.
I don't know.
Do you agree, Maya Jones?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Are you a
Yeah.
fan of Shawn Mendes?
Not really.
Oh. Are you a fan of Camila Cabello?
Not really.
No. Oh, okay.
I mean, I just feel like this isn't really news because it's like everyone already kind of knows.
Yeah.
But like, you know, good for him that
Yeah.
he's discovering himself.
It's also
or
hard to
whatever.
tell because he goes back and forth with Camila Cabello all the time.
No, literally.
Like they've broken
I saw
up and gotten
something
back
on-
together many times.
I saw something on Twitter. It was like, he didn't want her. He wanted to be her.
Oh.
Like,
Probably. Remember, like at the Met Gala, he goes, "It's giving Cher
Yeah.
to Camila Cabello."
You're trying to tell us you're a straight man and you're referencing Cher. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
It's giving share.
Our next hot topic. So the new Wizards of Waverly Place series just came out. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. Did not watch it yet. Probably won't watch it, tragically. But if you didn't know, there is already a little bit of drama with this release because in the original show, Justin, played by David Henry, he has this best friend in the show named Zeke, and Zeke's like real name is Dan Benson. Well, Dan Benson a few years ago, he started doing an OnlyFans because he says it gave him more money than Disney Channel ever has.
And I believe it.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, David Henry then went on to shade Dan Benson the other day because they were in like a promo interview kind of thing. And when they're doing that, pretty much what it was is they were doing like a BuzzFeed quiz, and it was like, which like past character from like the original show would you want to come back? And they listed off like a bunch of characters. And then they listed off Dan Benson's character, Zeke. And David Henry, all he had to say was, I don't know why they would put him on here because he has an OnlyFans now. And so that started a little drama. And then David Henry apparently then blocked Dan Benson. So then Dan Benson then took to Twitter to say, David Henry can suck my I'll pay him more than they paid me for Wizards. I promise you that.
Period.
T.
So,
I mean, I think that's clever though, because like bringing up your privates is like also in some way kind of promoting your OnlyFans.
yeah,
That is true.
Marketing.
it's kind of crazy though.
It is a little sad to me because I think they were pretty good friends when they were on set
Yeah.
together back in the day. Are you a Wizards fan? Are you part of the Wizarding world? Mm-hmm. Did you watch the new one?
I did, but it was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that way about a lot of these reboots.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
But you know, I think it's funny that Zeke kind of stood up to them because in a way it's kind of like I would feel a type of way because it's like this is part of your like it's almost like nostalgic, like it's part of your childhood, something you grew up with, like And then they're kind of like denying you of that just because of like the career path that you chose later in life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of crappy. And it also is like 2024. Like, why are we still judging people for like sex work?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
And I feel like there is a
cares?
different stigmatization between like men and women too. Like a
Yeah.
man doing it versus a woman doing it. Like, I'm sure that David Henry would probably have no problem subscribing to a girl's OnlyFans.
yeah.
I'm sure he does on the low. But like, when it's one of your friends who's a male, it's like he's like degraded or looked down upon
Yeah.
for it. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
For sure. So let's do one more hot topic. Trey, I'll let you take this one away. Megan Thee Stallion dropped Megan Act 2.
Flop.
That's it. That's all I
Like,
have to
I'm
say.
sorry, but first of all, people didn't even want the first act. Why would you do an act 2? Secondly, people on Twitter, this is allegedly, do not take this as fact because I cannot confirm number sources, but people on Twitter are saying it only sold like 8K or 10K, which is like, for a 3-time Grammy winner only selling 8,000 albums is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Maya Jones, you could sell more than that.
Period.
Like,
Well, yes.
and then all the pandering she's doing to like the Asian market and it's still not working out for you. I just feel like, and it's not even that I don't like Megan. I just want more. Like, I want something different. I'm so tired of hearing the same boring flow, the same type of beat, the same type of like subject matter, especially. Give us something new. That's why you're not selling, girl, because you're giving us the same thing you've been giving us
Yeah.
for the last 6 years.
We need a rebrand.
Yeah.
Rebrand.
Did you see she's doing a Megan Act 3?
Yes, she wants to do this like trilogy. She wants to have her big trilogy moment. But the greatest trilogies, like when I think of trilogies like Melanie Martinez, who did, you know, Crybaby K through 12, and then now Portals, or even Summer Walker, who did Over It, Still Over It, and now she's about to drop Finally Over It. What makes those so great is that they're not trying to force a trio.
Yeah.
They're not trying to force a trilogy. It just happens naturally. And as they grow as an artist, and that's where she's stunted, is because she's not growing as an artist. She's giving us
Yeah,
the
it's
same
all the
boring,
same.
regurgitated lines about her coochie.
Who was it that also did the Ho, You Still Here? Who was that?
Flo Milli. I don't know. I like it because hers kind of had a theme to it.
I didn't hear about this until you mentioned it to me, and I thought it was so funny. It was Ho, Why Is You Here? And then You Still Here, Ho? And then the latest one was Fine, Ho, Stay.
Oh.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
So let's get into our interview with the wonderful Maya Jones.
Yeah. You've been a little quiet, but maybe this will bring you out of your
It's time
shell.
to start
Yeah.
yapping.
I
Time to start
honestly
yapping.
just didn't even know anything about those hot topics, so I was kind
Really?
of just taking it all in.
Really, you're
Yeah.
here with the audience.
It's okay.
But so you are pretty well versed and knowledgeable about what we're about to talk about. So Dance Moms, if you don't know, which I'm sure you do if you clicked on this video, Dance Moms is a show. It ran from what, like 2010 to
2010 till 2019,
Something like that. I don't know.
2017, but it's been
Something
rebooted
like that,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, they've rebooted it, which we're not even going to talk about that because, girl, y'all are so... Nobody wants to watch a clean version of Dance Moms.
If there's no Abby, there's no me.
There's no show. So what time period were you involved in the ALDC?
The first season is whenever I ended up starting there.
And then how long were you there until you stopped?
Until, I want to say like 2016 maybe?
Oh,
So you were there for a good like
A
6,
while.
7 years.
Yeah.
And what was the reason you were not on the show? Or like
I was just too old.
you were too old
Yeah.
for the competition team?
No, because for the TV show, they wanted, like, I think they wanted, like, ages maybe, like, it was, like, 12, 13. I'm, like, the age of Brooke. And so they really didn't want, and Peyton.
Okay.
So, like, they really didn't want anyone that age. So that's kind of why I just wasn't.
Well, how did Brooke get on the show?
Honestly, I
her
don't even
sister,
know.
Paige.
Because they knew they could throw that
Duh.
chair at Paige.
They probably said like, your mom, she's good for reality TV.
Kelly
Put
is
her on there.
made for reality TV.
Yeah.
I slam whatever I want.
Even like
Stop eating. That's why
when
you're
Peyton
fat.
was on the show, like the few episodes Peyton's been in, you can see why she was there because her mom Leslie, oh, she was good for
Drama.
reality TV too.
Yeah. So let me ask then, Maya, was your mom, do you think she would be made for reality TV? Like, because it is called Dance Mom. So moms are a
Yeah.
big focus of the show as well as the girls. Do you think your mom would have fit in with the rest of the moms?
See, my mom's really chill, but, like, if someone did try me, like, she would put that down real fast.
Really?
So
Yeah,
she's
she
like
would shut it
the Dr. Holly kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
I respect it.
So were you like in the room when they would film, or like how does that work? Because you were a student of the studio, but you weren't necessarily featured on the show.
So, like, for the actual, like, show portions where they would practice, like, their dances and stuff, that they would usually film during the day while the rest of us were in school.
Okay.
And then like whenever it was nighttime and we actually had our actual classes, they would just come in and film like the regular clips. Like, you know, when you would see just like random inserts where it would be just a bunch of people like dancing and
Like
stuff.
the transitions
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
would be them just like coming in.
Were
to
you
the
in
room.
those? So what were you ever like? What episodes were you in?
I was in a few of them, but I can't think off the top of my head which ones. I know I was in the one where Brooke performed with Jana Kramer. I was there. I was in Mackenzie's music video.
You were in it?
For Girl Party?
Yeah.
Can you give us a little sample? Sing, please.
I don't even
Girl
remember.
Party.
We had to learn the dance and everything.
So if we watched the music video like right now, we'd see you.
I can show you where I am.
I'll
yeah.
put a clip in there. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold you too. I'm gonna put
Insert.
Yeah, insert the clip. I'm also gonna be inserting pictures of you and the girls and Abby and all
Oh,
that.
gosh.
And I will say this too, like even though you weren't like say like well known from the show, people did know and associate you with ALDC because like I've stalked you before, sorry, but going back in your like tag pictures on Instagram, they're like ACDC, LOL. There's ALDC like fangirls who would
Yeah.
post you. And like tag you, and then you would interact, and they would be like, "Oh my god, Maya liked my comment."
Oh my god.
I know, it was
But
so fun.
How does that feel though? Like, kind of like being glorified in this way, and kind of being in association with a show as big as like Dance Moms was.
Honestly, it's kind of a weird feeling. Like I was watching, I don't remember her name. It was this one actress who was in Twilight, and the way she kind of referenced her being in Twilight is kind of how I reference myself being in Dance Moms. Is like, I played such a small part in it, and it's such a big thing that sometimes I forget that I was even a part of it.
Right.
It's like when people talk about it, I'm like, oh wait, I was like there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Well, good thing you were there because we're getting all the backstage tea.
I know.
Oh.
But
It's so fun.
go ahead, Danny.
So let's get into like stuff from the actual show. So there are so many iconic moments. You see them all over Twitter, TikTok, everything.
Yeah.
What's like your favorite Dance Moms, I guess, meme? There's so many.
Oh, there are so many. I don't even know. Honestly, like pretty much everything that they've ever
Yeah.
said is just so good.
There's
I
like
cut my finger on my mom's wing. I hope I can still
Oh my
dance.
gosh, me and my mom still make fun of that to this day.
Did you meet Vivian?
I met her at a competition, but that was it.
So, because even on the show, it's kind of like weird. Like, why is Kathy here if she has her own studio? I guess just for the show,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
so was she ever like close? Because, well, let's get into this tea. Let's clock this tea. So allegedly, and they've kind of come out with this in the last few years. Abby and Kathy are actually kind of like friends, right?
yeah.
Honestly, I
I
don't
saw
really
that.
know, but I think so.
I think like so I remember reading that somewhere that Kathy was the very first person signed on to Dance Moms, even before Abby was. Because they
Talk about another one
saw-
that's made for TV.
I know. They saw Kathy and they said, "This lady's nuts. Let's put her on TV." Because if you think about it, Kathy is crazy. Like the first time you meet her in the show, you were like, "Oh my god, this lady is
Yeah.
nuts. She's obsessed
said-
with bunnies and carrots."
She said, if Vivi were to come to me and tell me she wanted to do softball or something, I'd probably slip my wrist.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That's
Yeah.
I didn't
so
mean to
funny.
do that either.
No, my favorite like Kathy and Abby moment was literally like they were fighting per usual, and like Abby is like really getting up in Kathy's face, and Kathy goes, "Get away from me! You're spitting on me!" And then Abby goes, "I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire, sweetheart." And then Kathy then replies, "I would walk over your dead body." And I'm like, oh my god, I had to pause the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into your relationship a little bit with Abby. So what was your relationship like with Abby?
She honestly didn't really teach me that much. I had Gianna more than anyone else, and so
Who was also a big part of the show.
yeah, she is. I really liked her. She was really
Really?
sweet. Yeah, her, and then I had Rachel a lot, which she wasn't really on the show, and then there was a few other teachers.
So in your interactions you did have with Abby, was she like how she was on the show? This like villainous, huge woman?
Honestly, she's always been really nice to me, and like she did have her favorites, but like I feel like everyone does,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's because she's kind of the reason I got into singing too, which a lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I feel like a lot of people also don't know that like the same way that they kind of launched Mackenzie into singing and launched, who else was it that did songs on the show?
All of
Brooke.
them.
All of them.
did songs.
But you got that same
Mia.
treatment.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, your first single you ever recorded.
Yeah, so my first single I ever recorded, oh my gosh, it was called Warrior. And
Can you sing a little clip for us? Please. I'm dying for it, please.
oh my gosh. It was like,
I would love to hear it. Did you write this song?
I did. I think I was like, what, 11?
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I just got out of the hospital, so my voice doesn't sound that good. But it was like, now I'm a warrior, now I can see who I want to be. I always wanted to believe it. I'll find a way to make you see it. Yeah, that's pretty
Okay,
much the chorus.
period. No,
Yeah.
that's
That
good.
up.
So, but you got the full like treatment and the setup of like, you have like a plaque too or something, don't you?
Yeah.
So
I
what
do.
happened there? Also, how did the idea come up? Where they like come to you and be like, because you said she got you into singing. So did she just like offer you like, hey, do you want to sing? Or were you like, did you have interest in it? And you were like, can you guys help me or what?
Honestly, see, they have, okay, so there was a teacher there, Kathy. She's my vocal teacher. She was the first one I ever had, actually. And she was through Abby. And I don't really remember exactly how she found out I wanted to sing. It might have been just like my mom talking to her. I don't know. But I just remember I started taking voice lessons there. And so the more I did that, Abby would like hear me because there was like a voice studio. Like, you know, in the show, like where they showed the shop, I would do my voice lessons in there. So
Okay.
like Abby and like all of them would walk past, so she would hear me, obviously. And then when she heard me, she was like, oh, like she's actually kind of good. Like they filmed a whole, I wish I could get this clip so bad. They filmed a whole sequence where they had me like singing for her and playing guitar, but they just didn't do anything with it.
So it was
So
like
if
going to
you
be
see
on the
this,
show, but
like-
it wasn't.
Yeah,
Lifetime, get it together.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And like, I don't even know, did y'all ever hear about I forget what it was called. It was a show about songwriters, like girls like our age then, wanting to go to Nashville for music that Lifetime had.
No.
They had a show that came out. I think Dance Moms was still on at the time, and they were like somewhat talking to me about being on it, but I just never did it, which is kind
Wow.
of funny because I moved to Nashville.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah, and I'm friends with one of the girls that was on that show, so it's so
Aw.
funny.
Period.
Yeah.
So they filmed a sequence of you that was like, was it supposed to air on Dance Moms?
I don't know. They never really said what they wanted to do with it.
Did they ever come to you and offer you like to be on the show, or like how did that work out? Because obviously the girls who were like the main girls of the show, they probably signed contracts and did all that stuff. But like for the other people who were just kind of there,
We did have to sign a contract, but it was more so, it wasn't really as like locked in as they were. Like for them, like you couldn't like leave studios or anything like that.
right?
We couldn't leave studios for that year. Like I'm pretty sure their contracts were like longer than ours. We just had to sign a contract from like the beginning of the season till the end of the season.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you still like keep in contact with like Abby or like any people from the ALDC?
Not really like contact, like social media somewhat, mostly like on like Facebook and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I don't really like have conversations with them that much. If I see them out, then I'll say hi.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Do they remember you? Really?
Yeah. It's kind of shocking because sometimes I forget about myself.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Who would you say you were like closest to of the main girls like during your time at the ALDC?
When I was there, probably Mackenzie because she was in all my classes. Yeah, probably Mackenzie.
Was she sweet? Is there any like people that have the reputation of being like sweet and nice, but they're really kind of like a bitch behind the scenes? Go ahead, spill the tea, girl. This is the G spot. We gotta hit
I
it.
mean, not really. It was just kind of like, you know, how people perceive them online is kind of how they were then, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who?
Yeah.
Put it on the floor. Was it an adult or was it a kid?
No, it was a kid. But it's like, you
Okay.
kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt because they were a kid. But like,
Yeah.
Was it Maddie?
no. Maddie was really nice.
Was it Kendall?
No, and you know, Kendall has gone on to be like this like Trump supporter, bad lip filler.
Yeah. She's like on I think she's on her college like dance team now.
Is she, I think she goes to LSU, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
think so.
So, but you were there before Kendall came in, because Kendall came in season 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when she came in, what was like the energy around her? Were people like excited for her to be there? Were they like,
Honestly, nobody was really ever not accepting or excited about like anyone joining, you
Right.
know? Yeah, it was more so like, I feel like the moms that cared more than the kids, you know?
Yeah. Because they want like the spotlight on their child all the time.
Yeah.
So how much of that was real though, and how much of it was them just drumming up drama to make good TV?
Whenever I was around, none of it was really like, okay, make this happen. It was all kind of naturally happening, but then I have heard like whenever they would do their own clips, like during the day when no one else was around, that was kind of more so them trying to like start different things. But
Right. Was there anything on the show that was just like outright fake or like wrong?
not that I can think of. All of like the main fights that I can think of, they actually did happen because I would always remember hearing about them after the fact, and I was like, dang. Like if I could go back in time and be one of the moms there, bro, I would eat that up.
I know.
Like I would just
So
eat that
good.
up.
I would die to be one of the moms.
Literally.
I'd love to just sit upstairs, like in their little like watch room, and just be a fly on the wall.
It's just us. The two bitches are left.
I know the amount of like fights that happen up there is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
wild.
a little birdie told me that you have Nia's phone number.
She probably changed it by now.
Get her new one. I want to FaceTime Miss Nia Sue Frazier.
Oh, correct.
You know, and when I was younger watching the show, Nia was always my favorite.
Really?
Like, I don't know why. I think it's just because she has that, like, underdogness about her. It's like
Yeah.
you want to see her win because everybody kind of, like, brings her down.
Yeah.
But Nia was always my favorite.
She's so sweet
Yeah,
too.
she is.
And Holly was my favorite mom on the show. So like loving Holly, I'm just like, oh, Nia.
Yeah, they're sweet. I stay like I don't really talk to any of them like that, but like I stay more in contact with them than anyone else, like on social media and stuff. Yeah, anytime I post things on like Facebook, she always comments and likes. I'm like, oh, you
Holly?
remember me? Yeah.
Really?
It's so cute. Yeah,
Make sure you post this and let her see us.
I will.
Holly,
tag her.
Dr. Holly Frazier. Is that her last name, Frazier?
Yeah.
Dr. Holly, if you're watching this, please hit us up for an interview. We are journalism students. We're looking for our big break. Please give it to us, girl. We love you. We support you. Loved you since we were 9 years old.
Yeah. We
Period.
want to sit on the couch with you.
We would love to sit on the couch with you. But when it comes to like dancing, were you involved in any of like the big group dances?
None of the ones that were on TV. The main group dances that I was in would have been Box of Chocolates, which I cannot find that video to save my life, and I've been trying to, like on YouTube. And then I was in Blue Suede Shoes, which that one is on YouTube. But those were like
Those
the
were
two
ones
big
that were aired?
I don't know if they were aired. Those are the two that went to nationals.
Blue Suede Shoes, I feel like that like is ringing a bell in my mind. Like I
I've
feel like that
posted it
might have been
before.
on the show though.
I don't know. I honestly don't remember. Mackenzie was in it though, because we were all in like little groups, and she was in my group. It was like 4 per
Yeah.
section.
But it seems like because there's people who were there obviously that had like nothing to do with the show.
Yeah.
But then there's like you who were kind of like you would pop your head in and out and like you'd be in music videos for them and like you had a launch party for your single and all that. Like
Yeah.
it seems like they almost kind of favored towards you being like
Yeah.
we could potentially get you on the show someday.
Yeah.
What
I
that
feel
was
like
never discussed though.
It was. That's why. But I think the fact that I was just older, just it kind of never happened, you know. But I don't know. They always did, and I think it's because I did all of it. Like I danced, sang, and then I also like modeled too.
Right.
So it was like everything they were doing, I was doing. It was just that I was older.
You're kind of
Like,
the first
even
Asia.
Because like even the producers would talk to me about it, and it just wouldn't go anywhere.
Was that something that you had like interest in though? Was like being on the show?
I would have. Well, I've always known I wanted to do like entertainment.
Right.
So yeah.
Did you ever feel like, I don't want to say like in a negative way, but did you ever feel like jealousy or anything? Being like, I'm not on like the show with the girls like I should be.
No.
No.
Honestly, no.
So it was genuinely just like a happy environment.
I just liked being there, honestly.
Do you feel like you were traumatized in any way? Because like the girls came out and did
The like reunion.
the reunion, and so many of them were talking
Yeah.
about like, you know, we experienced this, which like I'm sure their experience is different than yours because they had a
Yeah.
lot of pressure being viewed by millions of people every week. But when it comes to strictly just being in the studio with the people that were there and like show aside, did you experience any like negative things that would impact you?
Not really. Only one time that I can think of, and that was during the recital. And I don't remember who it was, but we had to do quick changes because we had one dance, there was a dance in between, and then another dance.
Right.
So we had to change behind the stage instead of like in the like dressing room. And I remember it was me and like a few other girls, and 2 of the moms came back and started like screaming in our faces because they were saying we were in the way. And whenever I went out for my second dance, you could tell I was crying. Like, and my dad came back actually after after the dance. He was like, "Who yelled at you? What was it?" He was ready to go.
He was a
off.
dance dad.
Yeah, I was like, "It's fine. It's
The
fine."
people that yelled at you, were they on the show?
I don't think so, if I can remember correctly. I forget who exactly it was, but
Yeah. You were just so traumatized. You blocked it out.
But like, I'm sure that's where you were probably told to like change, though, is right there. So
Yeah,
they can't just like
exactly.
yell at you, be like, you're in the way. Whenever
Right.
you were probably instructed to change right there.
Were there any big moments from the show that you were like there for to see in person? Like the
Yeah.
Kelly and Abby fight, or like anything, just any big moments that happened.
The part where she announced that she was opening up ALDC LA, whenever she brought everyone into the room, I was in that clip, and so was my mom. It's so funny. But we were in that clip, and then whenever Mackenzie did her music video, I'm trying to think what other big ones there would have been. The like recitals, but that's just kind of.
But not there for like when Paige got a chair thrown at her, or.
No, I think that was
Anything.
during the day. I don't think anyone else was there for that.
So, do you think your mom would have been interested in being on Dance Moms? What's her name?
Gretchen.
Gretchen? Dance Mom Gretchen? I feel like she would have fit in. That's a name that fits
She
in.
Just the name like needs to be on
Yeah.
Dance
Can we
Moms.
call her right now?
Yeah, sure.
Call her. I have a question for her. She asked if we wanted her here, so I'm gonna ask her a question.
Let's see.
I'm gonna ask her which dance mom she hated the most.
Oh my god. I'm scared.
I feel like this is our messiest episode yet.
That's so funny. Hello?
Yes.
Can you turn the TV down? We want to ask you questions about Dance Moms for the podcast.
Oh. Oh my, hold on. Okay, now what?
Okay.
Hi, Miss Gretchen.
Hello?
My name's Trey. I'm good. Let's get messy. Are you down with that?
No.
Oh no.
So we were just talking about if you guys were to be featured on the show, and you were with the other dance moms, which dance mom do you think you would clash with the most? Which one did you not like? Let's say that.
Oh, wow. That would be a tough one.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
See, none of them were really like rude to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, at all.
Yeah. So it's all just smoke and mirrors for TV.
Yeah.
They're all really nice people.
Well, see, I feel like also because like I'm older, there wasn't really a reason to be.
Yeah.
Because we
you
were
weren't
never in the
competing
same.
with
Yeah.
them.
We were never like
Yeah.
competing
Yeah,
against
because
each other.
see, to us, I mean, everybody just went over and beyond, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, then let's flip the question. Who do you think you would be best friends with as a dance mom?
let me think about that. Probably, I don't know if you remember Leslie.
Oh, we remember.
We remember Leslie.
We're big fans of the show. We remember everything.
Yeah, Leslie was cool. My best friend, Leslie is her, what was it, her aunt? Yeah, my best friend. That's the reason I started going to Abby, is because of my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was her aunt, so she was always cool.
Do you have any stories or any inside knowledge that you would like to share? Just anything you want to talk. It doesn't have to be bad. Just anything you want to talk about.
Let me think about it. Look, it's been such a long time, I hadn't even thought about some of that stuff. Let me help jog my memory, Maya. Anything in particular? A lot of the events and things that they did were good. For example, Maya had her first performance.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
As part of that, yeah, remember that?
It was
Maya?
the summer concert series? Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That was the first time I ever, performed my new song.
Aw.
Yeah.
She was telling us about the party and how they came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So were you ever approached with anything about being on the show, or them asking you if you wanted to do anything involved with the show?
They, at one point, they was going to have Maya to perform. Remember that, Maya?
Oh, yeah,
And
and then,
Abby?
yeah, me perform and then one of them do the dance or something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot about
They
that
was
too.
supposed to do that, and then things happened with people moving to LA, and the and then it kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah.
Well, she left her mark because we remember her as an ALDC girl.
That's so funny.
But all right, I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you so much for answering.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Were you there like when JoJo came?
Yes, and you know what's so funny about that? I'm actually
Dream
glad
guest
you
on my
brought her up.
podcast, Maya Jones.
She literally, okay.
Let's
this
talk about
was-
JoJo, the JoJo
yeah.
of it all.
Yeah.
This is funny because she was also really quiet whenever
Really?
we were at the studio. Yeah,
I find
she
that
never
incredibly
talked,
hard to believe.
like
That's
ever.
crazy because
Like
she's a
anytime I was
yapper.
around her, yeah.
Maybe
but
she just didn't
then-
like you.
Well, see, after I went to, have you heard of Playlist Live?
Yes.
I performed there, and one year whenever I
Subtle
performed
flex.
there,
Okay.
she actually opened, or she like introduced me. She was like hosting the performance that I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't stay in contact with her?
No, not really.
Is it because she's a lesbian?
No, we love her for that.
Yeah.
Was because I remember like when she came on, a lot of the girls had a lot to say about her.
Yeah.
And like kind of, I don't want to say like fake or two-faced, but you know, they kind of talked about her behind her back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like she's loud, she's annoying. Was that like a real life sentiment that was happening, or was that kind of amped up for the show?
No, I'm pretty sure that was all real.
So they really did not like her.
Yeah, because she's even said, like, she's talked about it before, I'm pretty sure. And, like, I think I've seen it on TikTok where she talks about how, like, they would treat her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's just kind of hard because it's, like, at the end of the day, we were all kids, but still, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Were you? I remember like seeing like on the show that, you know, she would always say that Nia's the closest with her, and Nia's like the only one that would really actually talk to her and hang out with her and stuff, which is really sad to hear and stuff. But,
yeah.
But now, like if you think about it, besides Maddie, JoJo's like the biggest star to come out of that show.
I would say JoJo's bigger
even
than
JoJo
Maddie.
kind of is
Yeah.
bigger because you don't really hear Maddie Ziegler's name anymore, but like every day. But
Yeah.
JoJo, you hear her name every day, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about JoJo's like new music?
I don't know. Like, I see what she's trying to do. Like, you know, like the whole, like, Miley Cyrus, how she did that, like, flip. I can see that she's trying to do that. And, like, I respect it.
But I think what's going wrong with it is that she's announcing that she's doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's something you just have to do.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't have to tell people what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you collab with JoJo on a song?
Yeah, that would be iconic. I don't know what it would be, though.
I would listen, actually.
I'll DM her. I'll be like, hey, I don't know if you remember me.
Karma's
You don't think
actually
she would
kind of a
remember you?
hit.
I don't know. I wish I could show you the video from whenever she was introducing me. I'll try and find it after this.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Send me all the clips. I'll put them in editing.
I will. I'll send you
But-
so many.
Please. Because all I have is what I stalked on your Instagram.
I'm dead. Yeah.
Do they ever talk about having like reunions or anything? Because like I know you weren't involved with like the girls on the show and they've done reunions and stuff for TV, but like just the other people and everyone who was there as a team, have they ever talked about like, hey, let's come together and just talk about the good old days or
I
whatever?
mean, whenever the show first ended, they did do that, but I had already lived here, so I never really went back for them. But like, no one really does anymore. Everyone's kind of gone on about their
Yeah.
lives. Yeah.
If you were a mom, would you like let your child be on the show?
I would let them do it if they wanted to do it, but I wouldn't force them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know there's like a lot of moments in the actual show where they're like, why are we putting our kids through this?
Yeah. See, I don't know. My thing is, it's like, I know that like being a child star can be hard, but you wouldn't be where you are if you didn't go through what you went through.
I think that's the point that JoJo was trying to make in the
Yeah.
reunion.
Yeah.
And that's like how I think. Honestly, what she said, I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
It just kind of is like, you got an opportunity that so many other people wanted. So don't try and bash it whenever it's like that's the reason you are where you are.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Well, one thing that's kind of crazy to me is that like you were kind of like the hidden dance mom's girl. Like you experienced everything they experienced, but just not on TV.
Yeah.
And you were there for a long time, like 6 or 7 years too. So that's like you were there from the beginning too. So you were there for Nia, Maddie, Kenzie, Chloe, like all the girls coming and then all the girls going and new girls coming in. Like, were you there when Asia came in? For the little time that she was there?
I've met Asia, but I only met her at the Teen Choice Awards. I've never like.
You went to the Teen Choice Awards?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's get into that.
Why did we not talk about this sooner?
What year was this?
What year was that? Honestly, I don't remember. I can look and see.
Why
I have
were
it
you
archived.
there with the Dance Moms girls? Or
I didn't go with them, but I went because I was a part of that studio.
okay.
Yeah.
So what, like, why did they go? Were they like
I think
nominated for
they
anything or hosting or something?
I don't remember if they were or not that year, but I know they were all there. But
Did you get to like walk the carpet and do all that stuff?
They had like a carpet, but it wasn't the one that was on TV.
Oh,
So, yeah,
was that a good experience for you though?
it was fun.
Yeah.
That was my first award show I ever went to.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I remember that they did go to Dance Moms because I remember seeing a video and like the girls met Justin Bieber. And like literally, I just remember like them screaming because it's Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
He was like kind of fresh on the scene at that time.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to pull up all of my pictures from that. They're all archived. Everything on my Instagram's archived now, so I have to dig through them.
were you there whenever Maddie B Raps came?
No.
No.
you were there for everything else but that.
I think that was
was
in
it.
LA.
I think actually
Oh,
it
okay,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I do remember they were in the music video with him and they were like in a diner.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in LA.
You were there when like Kaylani came in. You were there when JoJo came in. Just like all these people. And then towards the end, because I stopped kind of watching towards the end, like season 7, 8, and all that stuff. Like once most of the original cast left, I wasn't really into it anymore. But you were gone by that point, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I left like a couple seasons before it ended. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
What about
What was the reason you left?
I was injured, so I couldn't dance anymore.
Like ever?
Well,
A
not as
career-ending
much as
injury?
I did. Yeah, I had bad knees.
I have bad knees.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, just got to the point where I just couldn't dance like that anymore. Because I would dance like every day, Monday through Friday, and then compete on the weekend, so Friday through Sunday. And I did school online, so I was there all day, every day.
You really lived the life of one of the girls.
Literally.
Yeah. That would like doing that all the time though. That would really tear your body up. I
It
can
did.
see like that happening, especially like your knees and stuff because like there are like dance moves like where you like drop to your knees and like you do all this crazy leg work that.
Yeah. That's kind of why I started singing, honestly. Is because like whenever I realized that dancing was kind of not going so well because of my injury, that's when Abby was like, well, why don't you just focus on singing?
Abby's the one who told you that? Really? Let's talk more about your interactions with Abby. I know you said there weren't many, but were there any that really like stuck out to you? Like, wow, she really kind of like said something to me or you know, did something to me. That kind of sounded funny, you know, but they just really stuck
Honestly,
with you.
The clip that I was saying they filmed but they never aired it, she was saying how like I had potential and like I was actually good, which meant a lot for me to be that
Right.
age and somebody to be like,
Especially someone who's kind of viewed as this
Yeah.
like villainous type
Yeah.
of person to like actually be nice to you and be like building you up. I can see
Yeah.
how that would be like special.
yeah. So she kind of gave me the confidence I needed to keep doing music.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you have like a song with over 1 million streams too.
Yeah, let's
So-
get into sad songs. I still bump it to this day. So this was around the era of like Tumblr type of music.
Yeah. It was like 2017, I think, is when I released it. Yeah.
So you kind of blew up in your own right there.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that it was that song because I remember whenever I released it, I would just had such high expectations for that song because I was like,
Yeah.
it's so good. Like, this is going to be the one right here. And it really didn't do well for like the first year. And I remember calling my friend and I was like crying. I was like, it's literally like, there's no streams. Like, it's not going anywhere. But then I just woke up one day and it started taking off because Spotify put it in one of the algorithm playlists. So,
And then all of a sudden here we are.
yeah, a year after I released it is
And
when
then
I
you
started taking off.
performed that at Playlist too, didn't you? Period.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is also a pretty big flex performing at Playlist Live.
Yeah, honestly.
It's not like a it's not like an old sounding song, but it definitely like it's not like it's like, oh, that's kind of old, like I don't want to hear it. But it does like give you those vibes of like it takes you back to like 2017, 2018
It's
of like
nostalgic.
Yeah.
the YouTube era, the Tumblr era, like I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like I've heard that song before I met you.
Really?
And I was like, this sounds like so I don't know. Because
That's
I was
so
like,
funny.
I was so chronically online as a teenager, like
Really?
always on YouTube and watching like playlist stuff and all that. So like, I was like, I feel like I've definitely heard this before, but like,
That's so funny.
yeah. So I'm your biggest fan. I've stalked you since.
Wow.
No.
You know what's actually really funny? I don't remember her name. You remember the girl who did the Harvard sweatshirt, who did the dance? It was like on Musically.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Whenever I performed
the
at
clip in.
Playlist, whenever I performed at Playlist, she actually came and sat like in front of the stage, like in front of the barricade, and watched me. And she was like singing along, her and her boyfriend, but I forget who her boyfriend's name was. I want to say it was like Mikey, but I could be so wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I was like, how do they even know me? It was so funny.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, was there any like people in the music business who like reached out to you after that song kind of took off?
Yeah, I talked to it's actually kind of funny. Big Machines, that was my goal because I was obsessed with Taylor Swift. I was like, I want to be signed to Big Machines. And I actually worked with the guy who helped develop her. But that was whatever.
Scott
Scott Borchetta?
Yes,
or
but
Scooter Braun.
it not Scooter Braun.
No.
But Rick Barker, he was kind of behind the scenes. But I worked with him, but that was until I decided I didn't want to be country, and then everyone was kind of like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the best though that
Well,
you didn't do.
when
Big
was this
Machine.
too? What time period was this?
Up until say like 2020 maybe.
That's kind of weird. Maybe it's even just in the last 3 or 4 years, but I feel like especially in the last like 5-10 years, like Nashville's really changed into more of like different genres, not just
Yeah.
country. So it's kind of weird that you would get the boot because you don't want to
Yeah.
do country. But I guess it still is predominantly country.
Yeah.
You did a lot of things like playlists, and you did what other things you did? You did stuff with the ALDC, obviously, and then you.
I did VidCon, but I performed with Musically at VidCon. And then what else did I do? I did Good Times. I was on that tour. You know who that one is, right? Have you heard of them?
It's kind of like a Warped Tour type thing, right? Or no?
You know Tanacon?
Yes.
It was the guy who put that on.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was my manager for a minute. And I went on tour with them. So it was like me, Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall was like the biggest one that was from that time period.
Did you talk with him and interact with him?
Yeah, he was actually my first kiss.
Oh.
Okay, well,
Now
girl,
we're
now you're
getting-
spilling the tea.
Now we're getting the good stuff.
Yeah.
So your first kiss was Bryce Hall.
Yeah.
Spill.
I don't know. I don't really keep up with any of them.
Spill the
anymore.
tea, girl. I would keep up with Bryce Hall if he was my first kiss.
I actually have it on my old phone, which is so funny.
You have what?
But the video.
Of y'all kissing?
Yes, because it was on, what was it called? You Now? Is that what the live streaming
Yeah.
thing was? Yeah, we were live
Were
streaming.
you big on Musically?
No, not really.
Okay.
He was. And
Well,
I was
yeah.
just, I happened to be like friends with him because we met at Playlist actually.
Okay.
And it was the first year that we both went, which is kind of funny. And he was on live stream and I was just there hanging out. And he's like, do you want to play a game? And I was like, okay, sure. And he was like, heads I win, tails you lose. And I was like, not thinking what he was saying. And so either way, I would have lost. And basically, if I lost, I had to kiss him. And so, yeah.
So he
That
wanted to
was-
kiss you.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
Oh,
That is insane.
that's tea.
I have a picture of my phone because I found it not that long ago.
Girl, I'm serious. When you get home, find everything and send it to me. Do you have any more stories like that, girl? Anybody else you knew that we should know you kissed?
I'm trying to think. He was probably the main one that people would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would you like to let everyone know where they can find your music and where they can find clips of you on Dance Moms?
Yeah, you can find my music on like all the streaming and downloading sites. Just type in my name, Maya Jones. And my Instagram is It's Maya Jones XOX. And TikTok is just It's Maya Jones.
Period.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Of
Thanks
course,
for
we have had a
having
me.
we've had a good time.
That was fun.
was
This was
fun.
good.
Yeah.
If y'all want to see a part 2, just let them know. I'll
Please
come
do.
back.
Like, yeah, this is fun.
We'll be back.
We'll definitely do this again. Make sure you guys check out our previous episodes. Make sure you stay tuned for what we have in the future. Make sure you follow us at Gossip Spot Podcast on Instagram. We'll also be posting clips on TikTok. So, anything else left to say, guys?
I think so. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Mwah.